An interesting game for game number 1 between OMG as well as Team WE, as we saw nothing happen, followed by chaos, which is common with the current meta. But at 35 in the match, a little bit unorthodox, OMG are able to pick up game number 1 in this best of 3 series. We're about to jump into game number 2, but before we do, WE also have another match to be played on Sunday. And that's going to be our match of the week, going up against EDG. That's going to be at 5 o'clock China Standard Time. Rusty, you and I, we're going to be bringing this match to the audience back at home.
Yeah, we're still going to be here for this match of the week. Of course, Mako very excited for it, but it's one you don't want to miss. The organization rivalry for sure.
Yeah, definitely is. Two teams that went to the World Championship last year. WE went all the way to the semi-finals, but we talked about it. They didn't look too good during Spring Split. The start of summer has not been great for them at all.
No.
0-3.
Potentially 0-4 if this set continues on its current trajectory. WE are an absolute mess right now in the LPL, and that's the thing that just perplexes you endlessly. You watch Team WE play and they don't look like the same team, but you look at the members on the team, you're like, well, this is the same team, if not upgraded in certain places here and there.
They've already tried to do something to have an impact going into game number 2 that's not champion select. They've thrown in Mystic as their AD carry of choice. We haven't seen Mystic play this split. It's been 6 games of Gentle, 2 games of Imp now.
Yep.
Now we'll see Mystic play his first match. Not the old roster of WE with Condi and Ben. It's going to be Mystic with Pepper, as well as Mystic.
I mean, to be honest with you, I think Imp looks all out of sorts with Team WE at the moment. He doesn't feel like the synergy is there with him and the team just yet. The Lucian's the best example of that. Firstly, plays the Lucian, team goes for the Karma mid lane. They try and support him through it, but he's still a low-range Lucian, and the last team fight positions very aggressively, as Imp always tends to do, but that's not what you can do. And that's not something that Mystic does do. So it is nice to see Mystic back. It's super exciting for the WE fans. You can hear them. He's a superstar in China.
I mean, we heard cheers for Team WE not only at the start of the match, but were incredibly loud, but in the middle of the match and for Imp as well. WE fans are excited for Imp to be joining the roster. Hasn't had the best performance so far.
Yeah, of course. Imp out, Mystic in coming into the second game. And I guess the big question we have to ask is, does this really change anything for the team? And for me, the answer is yes, but I really don't know by how much, because Mystic is such a good duo with Ben, and Ben's not here. It's just Mystic subbing in, so it makes you wonder, you know, whilst I say yes, is it just 1% difference?
I mean, we also saw Pepper jump into the lineup for Team WE, and we were saying this is an early game jungler from FPX who looked so good at the start of Spring Split. Calmed down a little bit towards the end of Spring Split, and we didn't see him throw any of that aggressiveness towards OMG in the first match. But he's still playing in this game. Seems like that's the setup they want to run when they play Mystic almost. But again, curious, playing with Missing in the bottom lane. Mystic, however, is one of those carries that you see at the end when he picks up an MVP performance. Normally he has 50 over odd percentage of his team's damage.
Yeah, we know him for his Caitlyn at Worlds, you know. We know him for playing the aggressive champions. He loves Xayah, and Xayah is one of the few AD carries that is still super meta if you have a Rakan there with you. So it's always a possibility for Mystic, and that is a question, you know. Does he play AD carries? Or has he had some time to explore? Can Team WE actually play something off AD carry?
I mean, at one point he was on Jake Spawn Tabiri's book of who is allowed to play Ezreal in the LPL.
That's true.
It's going to be curious to see if he is still.
That's a small list, actually.
Yeah, it was a very small list, but it's going to be curious to see if he's still one of the players that is allowed to play Ezreal in the LPL. Haven't seen him just yet. We haven't seen if he's going to be one of those carries like Uzi who just goes straight back towards AD carries, or potentially throws in the odd bruiser, assassin, or even mage in the bottom lane.
And interesting even to contrast that, OMG went for the Tahm Kench Ashe. They went for the AD carry themselves. They put extra effort into picking that AD carry through their composition. So ultimately OMG seemed content with the AD matchup, but we also know they've played the other things. They've done the bruisers. They've been the off-meta roles. OMG are set with whatever comes their way, whatever punches are thrown at them. For WE, all we really have is question marks for Mystic, with no idea what he will play at all.
I mean, before the Ashe pick coming out from Chelly by OMG, they only played 2 games of Xayah, 1 game of Kennen, if he's even really a somewhat orthodox AD carry. The rest of it has been mostly bruisers or mages in the bottom lane, but Chelly had a fantastic performance. He was MVP in game number 1, 51% of his team's damage, and looked really comfortable, looked really potent on the Ashe as well.
With the team to support him, you could tell Chelly must be doing real well in scrims, or they've just decided as a team consciously that they know he has potential. The thing that we said for Chelly when he first joined the LPL was that when he came in with OMG, He was meant to be like SMLZ 2.0, you know, the quiet mechanical player, not the pentakill hunter late stages of the game like SMLZ tends to do, but more like the strong, just really reliable mechanical player that you hit late game, he'll still carry the team and he'll win the game for you. We saw exactly that in the first game. SMLZ-esque in that respect, but more importantly, we saw OMG let him do that. We saw them empower him to do that.
No assassins coming out from Icon in the mid lane. We saw supports being thrown towards Shelly. We had a Tom Kench in the bottom lane. We had a Lulu in the mid lane. And Jericho picking up the Camille. Yes, went for a damage-based build, but it was more to try and control the early and mid game, and it seemed to go in OMG's favor. It was back and forth. A couple of fights were picked here and there against Team WE. But we haven't seen Team WE adapt too much to the current meta. Their match against Snake actually looked really good. We saw them throw out the likes of Karthus as well as Nunu. We saw them try to change up their strategy, but in this match, their 4th set in the Summer Split, they went straight back to playing the late game, straight back to playing scaling 80 carries in their first match against OMG. OMG matched them, picked a very similar team composition, one that had some engage, some crowd control that's not Braum in the bottom lane. So I have to see if either team changes things up going into picks and bans for game number 2. Only thing that's swapped so far is Mystic will be heading into the bottom lane, and WE do have blue side for the second match. Their band's going to be Camille, Tom Kench, as well as Zoe. A lot of respect thrown OMG's way.
Yeah, but two things have already changed from WE through the ban phase. They didn't get rid of the Talia, they didn't get rid of the Rise. Two things that were taken from OMG by WE in game number 1, or in draft number 1. So the opportunity is there to pick one. If you're WE right now, go for that first pick. If I was OMG, personally, whilst Aurelia is a good ban, you'd be looking at the Talia and saying you might want to be able to remove that one sooner rather than later. But perhaps they want to pick it for themselves.
I mean, it's all going to be about what the first pick from WE is going to be, and it is the Talia pick. So I have to see how WE use that pick. OMG now have the chance. They can pick up the Rise if they want to. They can send it into the bottom lane, potentially let Icon pick it up in the mid lane as well.
Yeah, there's no real harm in going for an early rotation of the Rise when it goes into 3 different roles. We saw Mouth play at top lane. We know that it's played in the bot lane position, and it can also go mid. So pick the Rise, absolutely. With the Tahm Kench gone, I would be looking at Alistar. That's not Alistar.
No, it's not, but let's see what they do pick up. I mean, Rise is locked in. That's something that can be flexed between Icon as well as Charlie, but probably not going to be in this case. Lucian is the most popular pick in the bottom lane position.
Certainly is.
For the LPL so far. Commonly banned and commonly picked. Shelly should have another match with the champion. Rise should head into the mid lane for Icon.
And this is one of those moments for Team WE where they've got the picks, the Xayah Rakan, always a possibility for the bottom lane, lock it in. Because they've got the Lucian already seen on the opposing side. The engage would be great against the likes of a Lucian.
But still yet to see what they're going to throw into the bottom lane. I mean, Talia could be the supportive choice for Missing. We've already seen that once in the LPL.
Yeah, we've also seen Swain bottom lane. So we don't really know where things are going to be just yet. I'm just spitballing ideas that make sense in my brain, having known the old WE for quite some time.
We see the Swain lock in for WE. Could be a mid lane, could be a bottom lane pick. Who knows what Mystic's been practicing backstage for Team WE. Aatrox, that's going to get locked in. Normally you'd say, hey, 957, there's your champion. But after today's match from Rogue Warriors, that could be Sia playing that one in the mid lane.
I mean, frankly, it could be anything, right? So the Aatrox will get secured. I assume it will be top lane, however, and that should also assumedly be the Swain in mid lane. They may actually just put the Swain into Rise's lane, though, regardless. And so that's where OMG, with their 4th and 5th pick, should be flexing that Rise's role till the end to ensure they get the priority on the matchup that they're after. So OMG locking that jungler does make a great deal of sense, especially because WE should have the Talia in that jungle role, and they don't want extra things banned from them. They want to keep the strong dueling champion on the board.
Yeah, Jericho picks up Sinjao. Let's go to jungler when Camille is taken away or banned out against OMG, which it has been the second game from Team WE. A lot of respect being thrown Jericho's way. Didn't seem like he had that much of an impact, and it seemed like Pepper had him locked down, but don't want his hands on that Camille pick once again.
Yeah, LeBlanc also being removed from Xia here. So you're looking at the Swain, you're saying that's probably bottom lane, which is why they've gone towards that mid lane ban, or even forcing a different champion to go mid through these bans. For WE, however, I would like to see the Braum actually as a potential ban. Now Lucian secured, maybe deny the strength in the 2v2. Something that could round out their bottom lane to be a little bit more potent.
Let's see what 5 goes towards. He likes the initiation supports with the likes of Rakan, with the likes of Alistar, even going towards one of the Pyke games we've seen so far.
I think they're on to Xie here.
Lots of assassin bans.
Didn't expect to see a Talon ban today, but that's definitely one that we're going to get to witness.
Not happening. Icon doesn't want to take that Assassin matchup. On as well, Jax, the final bands coming out from WE. So still assuming that Xiang should take those into the top lane, potentially thrown down as one of 5 champions, but this could be Fire's pick, and it will be. Fiddlesticks locked in as his support.
Hell yeah, we got Fiddlesticks in that bottom lane. Very strong champion. We saw from Rogue Warriors earlier in the day. Has a lot of utility, and whilst the ultimate doesn't feel like it does a crazy amount later into the game, still has the fear, still has the silence, and silence is one of the most broken things in League of Legends. It just destroys everyone, and Fiddles has it as an RNG in Dark Wind.
It's got a nice gap closer as well, can surprise teams, especially in the early game when Crowstorm still does a lot of damage to champions yet to pick up resistances. W lock in Olaf as their pick of choice. Pepper's going to pick that one up again.
And I think that puts the Talia in the mid lane, with the Olaf being locked for the jungle role. So that should be our lane. Swain bottom lane for Mystic, if the Alistar is locked in, which it should be, of course.
Which means no AD carry coming up for WE. This could be one of their adaptations. If they don't pick one up here.
It's very unlikely, unless the Talia wants to be the support of choice for Team WE, that an AD carry would be secure. They don't go Alistar, they'll go Shen. Now Shen, still a very strong bottom laner, arguably the best 2v2 support slash bot laner that we're seeing right now in terms of controlling the lane, winning the skirmishes.
I mean, who knows, really? It could still be a Shen top lane, Rusty with Talia going down as a support anyway. We'll have to see what the draft's going to lock it in as. OMG, though, their final pick. Still waiting to see what it's going to be. Should be that Fiddlesticks in the bottom lane. Xiang should be looking to see what his top lane pick of choice is going to be, and Dr. Mundo gets locked in as their final pick.
Yeah, now OMG have reacted to this. They've acknowledged that it should be the Aatrox top lane. So on that assumption, they've gone towards the Mundo, who doesn't always win that lane by any means, but he's pretty impossible to kill. Can be quite safe with his farming complements of that cleaver also. And that also means that the Ryze then moves towards the middle lane as a confirmation from OMG into the Talia.
Going up against Sia's Talia. So it's not going to be flexed, being thrown out by WE. We're not going to see the LeBlanc, Talon, or any other assassin in that mid lane. Instead, a mage against mage matchup, something that we've seen quite a lot in the spring split of the LPL and globally as well. But OMG do have that aggressive jungler of Xin Zhao being picked up. That can help out the likes of Dr. Mundo, can help out Ryze as well. And even though Pepper is on the dueling jungler of Olaf, not as strong that early into the match.
No, not at all. And Xin Zhao actually often picked into the Talia, one of the few dueling champions that can meet her at the Scuttle Crab, can take her on and potentially kill her at that objective. So they've gone for the early skirmish. They've gone towards the Ryze in the middle lane as well. And I think that may be where the difference is made in Team WE's favor. Ryze can clear the waves, but he'll lose mana if he does so. Especially with the Dematerializer timing being pushed back an extra 3 minutes. Whereas on the opposite side, the Talia tends to clear the waves quite fast, even with the changes to the Q not being AoE. You don't lose all that much damage to the minions themselves. So it should be a bit of extra control, perhaps, through Sheer. He's the player you have to look at against Icon.
And a change for Team WE as well. Not only is Sia going away from that support that we saw in the last match, but even the bottom lane, bringing in Mystic, immediately picks up the Swain. Moving away from the fashion of, let's go for AD carries, let's go for the late game. WE could still try and do just that. They could still try and sit back and scale with the Swain pickup they have in the bottom lane, but less likely to turtle as long as they did in the last match when they had Lucian being played by Imp.
I always feel like we go through a giant mind game in draft phase now. You know, draft is actually the most important part of League of Legends currently, it feels like, with the fact that there's so many flex picks, the fact that there's so many counter picks and different things that you can play. An early rotation of Ryze from OMG, something that WE didn't ban. And then they respond with Swain. It's a game of chicken. Will you put that Ryze bottom lane? Give us the Swain. We scale up and we're very strong in the 2v2 with our bottom laner now. What are you going to do in response? So they put the Ryze mid lane. The game of chicken won by WE.
Well, their response was a ban out to assassins that are not going to be played. Instead, it's going to be Ryze going up against Talia. But let's get on to Summoner's Rift. Game number 2. OMG against WE. WE fans still out chanting OMG at the moment, even though it's at OMG's arena in Chengdu.
I reckon it's just proximity to the microphone. Listen to it. You can hear every individual screaming from WE. We got to move that mic closer to the OMG fans. It's the home arena.
They've got to hire Jindong's manager for a couple of days. He'll find that microphone. He always does.
God, I hope the WE don't hire that man. How close they are to the microphone right now. My eardrums, I value those.
Crowd still chattering with one another here. A couple of big changes, especially for Team WE, throwing in Mystic. Not going towards an AD carry in the bottom lane, but we could see small brawl at the start of the match. 5 spots out, and Mystic is helping out the rest of Team WE to take away blue buff away from OMG's side of the jungle.
Very early moves from Team WE. Of course, OMG on the opposite side, not going to be able to get anything. Of course, Vision will be placed by 957 to at least see it. Early bottom.
5 locked down with both the taunt as well as the pullback coming out from Mystic. Ignite is ticking, but Fiddlesticks should be okay. Big trade in favor of WE.
Fiddlesticks is going to have 3 potions that he's able to use, so he will stay in lane, but it means one more trade that goes poorly for OMG, and they lose that 2v2. But more importantly, 5 doesn't have the flash, so if they find him, they can kill him very successfully. OMG, very tragic start through that 2v2, whereas WE are doing quite well.
They certainly are. Very squishy champion in the bottom lane, doesn't go for any defensive items to start the match. Aftershock does get picked up, but Darkwind not going to help out too much with proccing that very early into the game. Dieko, however, he's able to pick up blue buff away from Pepper's side of the map, but he might be caught here. No blast cone. That doesn't spawn early anymore and immediately flash.
And another summoner spell gone from OMG. WE are doing all of the correct steps to get those summoners gone. Nate expects scuttle control, maybe even movements over towards the Raptor camp. Try and find that Xin before he hits level 3. Maybe you can exploit him, but at the same time, it's one thing to get the summoner spell. It's another thing to get the kill.
Doesn't get the kill, but does take both Scuttle Crabs to start the match. So a nice little EXP boost for Pepper, but it's Dieko that hits level 3 first, moving over towards his own Raptors, picking up Phase Rush as his keystone of choice.
It seems people can't really agree upon the most used keystone mastery, or rune rather, for Xin Zhao's running around. So this is just another iteration of it. You can go towards the phase rush. Still very good. You got the 3-hit passive. You got the dash that starts it off. So you'll be able to speed up, secure that knock-up. It'll be decently strong for the Xin Zhao running through. At the same time, we've seen Hail of Blades as potential options as well now. That attack speed on the first attack on a champion preferred. So to each their own when it comes to Xin Zhao.
I mean, he also gets the 2 minor walking runes with Chelly. Taking a small trade, he is able to dash away. He also gets the water walking. It's a celerity as well, so he runs a little bit faster.
Usually you would have that in your secondary regardless, however, as you tend to have sorcery secondary. Dieko, he may have been able to slip in here. Now, Missing doesn't have summoner spells where Mystic does.
They didn't spot this one out either. Dieko's going to be able to dash back in. Mystic forced to flush away nice and early. Dieko taking a ton of damage off a teleport. Big throw to the bottom lane, but Pepper is already here. He might collect that flash. Dieko going to be the first casualty here. Missing, his ignite is ticking. He might still fall to 5. But pops the potion, he's A-OK. WE pick up the first kill.
Missing will survive with a small amount of health. WE, particularly Pepper, in the correct place at the correct time. He had a strong start in the first game. Very cerebral, very aware of where his opponent was going to be. But this time around, he's there to secure the kill, not just the CS lead. Fiddles.
Ooh, Fiddle in trouble. Missing dashes forward, and WE find another kill. Missing, he just can't miss anything.
Fiddles steps up way too far. 5 tries to overreach his bounds, and Mystic is the one to start that all off. Lock him into the taunt. Pull him back towards that one. They secure a second kill. This is OMG just overstepping, overreaching, and pushing for too much, even in just positioning.
Start of the match not looking too good for OMG. Mystic, however, his return to WE for this split. Already a very strong start for him on Swain.
Yeah, absolutely. 957 also got himself that kill. Most importantly down there. So that's the big thing that shifts across the map. We spoke about the strengths that happened down in the bottom lane. Absolutely, it's a good thing. With 957 getting that on the Aatrox into the Mundo. You can see already Ninja Tubbies to be secured by Sheeting. He wants not even a Baron.
Doesn't want anything to do with this Aatrox in the top lane. Aatrox picked up Tiamat nice and early. Was forced to use teleport, however, in that fight. Sion used the time to clear top wave. Move straight back into the top lane without using his own teleport. So there is that advantage for OMG at the moment. 2 teleports in the map, Chelly as well as Sion's. Icon used his to get back into the mid lane after picking up his tier.
And also just generally speaking, the teleport advantage is there for OMG. They've got 3 compared to the lack thereof. It seems like WE have consciously chosen However, to not have teleports, to have a better lane control, better lane priority. We mentioned this in the first game. Icon went Ignite on the Lulu. He wanted to control the lane, wanted to control the 2v2. Shoes on the other foot in this game is WE. They want that 2v2 control through the bottom lane, and they have got it.
I mean, they're even throwing Talia down to the bottom lane now. Ultimate comes out, Sia collapses, and Fives is sitting duck. The poor Scarecrow going to be locked down again, giving the kill over to Mystic as well.
The one thing that sucks about Fiddlesticks, he still has no flash. He's a fragile champion with no mobility, so if you lock him down once, there's a very real chance you can lock him down a second time. Has gone for Boots 5 as his first item. Wants to be a bit faster, but not fast enough to get through that Talia wall.
No, his flash will come back up shortly, but way too late for that. Jericho might even be caught out here. Pepper as well missing, collapsing. Taunt is going to be good. Missing doesn't miss any of these. Another kill for Team WE.
WE just smacking him. This is an absolute clinic in early game League of Legends right now. Where was this Team WE last game?
We asked what the adaptation from WE is going to be because they've been trying. Their set against Snakes showed just yet. Their first match back in the LPL, as well as their last game against OMG, they played that late game fight, now looking a lot stronger in the early game.
Really, when you look at this and you say, what are those adaptations? It's just that Mystic's not playing an AD carry. You know, Mystic's able to play the Swain. He's able to show his hand, and perhaps this is something that OMG didn't fully expect. Now there's something different playing against them in the bottom lane. They've got the Lucian against it as well. The Fiddlesticks being exploited. Have to be super careful with the 2v2s.
I mean, OMG are not even going to step up for this wave.
Chelly has to use his W on or he dies. Yeah, very cautious. Constantly has to be cautious.
Playing it nice and safe. Mystic does hit level 6 in the bottom lane very early, on par with OMG's jungler. Despite Jericho being taken down twice, he's still keeping up in level. In fact, 1 level ahead of Pepper at the moment. And there's the aggression from Pepper as well. We saw him try to contest Jericho inside of his own jungle, made the early rotations, tracked the Xin Zhao, made his way into the bottom lane, got a nice early impact for WE.
Yeah, certainly. This has been a lot better from Pepper, and we mentioned it even in contrast of his first game. This just had results on the other end, you know, so that's something that you have to be able to praise him for, and rightly so. But more importantly, WE are working with him to achieve that. His synergy with the team seems to be evidenced currently. And it seems like, above all else, Mystic just knows what's happening on the map more than anyone else does on this map. And they're able to use that to their advantage.
Using it very well. They've also got 2 global ultimates, so to speak, with Talia, as well as Missing picking up the Shen. So I'm curious to see what Team WE are going to try next, because the early game aggression's been working out for WE. Do they have to keep up this aggression, or can they start to relax and look for a better fight later on?
There's always the risk of what happens at level 6. You know, this continuation of passive play after the aggressive start does open the door to OMG to make plays of their own. If Fiddles hits 6, gets that mobility, gets the engage tool. Chelly has the damage from range as well from level 6 onwards. There's a real possibility that things start to shift. And it shouldn't be by large values, however, because they can afford to play slowly, WE.
Do they want to make those plays, so? Because OMG, I mean, they've got Fiddlesticks rotating around the map, wasn't able to find anything anywhere. But they could just say, you know what, let's sit back, relax, and try and farm things up. We are 2,500-ish gold behind. Maybe let's not force a fight just yet.
I don't think, and they'll know that they're behind. They won't know that it's 2,500 at 9 minutes, which is super significant. I think that they will just play this one out to hit level spikes and then try and find some item spikes. Five's rushed Boots of mobility. He's pulling a PYL. That's what I'm going to call it. Last time we saw PYL, he played Fiddlesticks. He died a lot in the bottom lane. Then he rushed Mobies and died in everyone else's lane. So we're hoping that he doesn't pull a full PYL and then it's only the half measure.
Get the roam right, but just not the inting part.
Yeah.
Already 2 kills going over to Team WE though. 5 has been taken down twice, both in the laning lanes. We saw him try to make his way towards the top side of the map, only just now hitting level 6, so Crowstorm is available.
Does Boots of mobility cost the exact same amount as a stopwatch does? You could actually go towards that stopwatch. He doesn't have one. Usually you'd see the stopwatch done through the runes for a Fiddlesticks, going an inspiration secondary. Not to be seen from 5.
Not the case this time. Double stopwatch in the bottom lane for Team WE, however. Both Mystic as well as Missing have their own.
I actually don't know what his secondary is. I don't recall looking in that one.
Sia might be in some trouble though. 5 throws out the fear. Jericho collapses, but Stand United is going to come through. And immediately OMG say we're going to disengage.
It's actually a nice disengage from OMG overall. They get the cleanse out of Xie, which means that Fiddlesticks can hover around this middle lane. If they have vision control, then Xie has to be super careful, and you can see expending his mana, wanting to recall and get out of there just in case. The bottom lane has so much control from WE that they just need the rest of the map to stay steadfast in their vigilance and not be taken out.
Been lucky for OMG almost. First dragon's going to be a Cloud Dragon, so no major fight taking place there. Should be an objective that they're happy to give over to Team WE if they try to force it. Or potentially an opportunity for OMG to force a fight. The Crow Storm available. Ryan's trying to bring people in as well.
The Crow Storm isn't going to do that much damage, though. You're actually looking at the Xin Zhao working with him to make the plays if they do want to make those. Of course, there'll be enough damage supplemented from a complete jungle item of the Xin Zhao, even though he's 0-2. And when you combine the support and the jungler together, they're 0-4, and that is the lead from WE.
Oh no.
They still have a lot of base damage.
3,000 gold is the lead for WE as well. Tieko was waiting in the bottom lane to see if he could find an avenue to get a gank against Mystic or Missing.
But he's gone, and here comes Pepper.
Yeah, he's going back to base, picked up boots for himself. Everyone is trying to rotate close to that bottom lane. Blue buff is available for OMG. Chelly locked underneath his own turret. Talia slowly rotating over as well. Top lane, both top lanes are fighting. Sion taking so much damage. 957 almost takes him down instantly. Pops the ultimate, flashes away. But this fight's bottom lane as well. Dieko going up against Sia, level 7 against level 10. Dashes forward. Xin Zhao gets the one-on-one kill.
And he's able to level up from that kill. Icon not there, no problems. OMG's jungler just goes off. Finds that 1v1. They catch him out with no cleanse.
Oh, but Pepper takes away the blue buff. We'll get locked down by Icon, but no mana for you, Rise. Means he can't force a fight there.
Yeah, still a very nice steal from Pepper to consolidate for the death of his mid laner. Whilst it was good from OMG and they get a kill on the board, they start to feel a bit better for themselves. Pepper just comes along and brings it all back.
But they're going to lose bottom lane out of turret, it seems. Shelly has teleport for himself, but he's not going back to base. And Fiddlesticks has abandoned him.
Yeah, he has to culling this wave, and if you're WE, you may even just consider tanking that one up. It's a cannon too, so they could take the turret right now.
There's the culling. Missing is going to try and tank most of it, but only gets the cannon minions. W will pick up the first turret. Just 13 minutes into this match as well. All the gold's going to go over to Missing.
Oh.
Or Mystic, I should say. As, hello.
What are you doing there? Pepper, he's out. He's running away. He's Craig Daviding his way back to his own base.
A little bit spicy for Pepper. Tiako's going to be able to pick up his own red buff. Crow Storm was used earlier. Sia's going to get locked down. No cleanse means the fear from Fiddlesticks comes out. Sia is stuck, and Icon gets a kill.
And very kind from Five. Good communication from OMG. They secure the kill for Icon. They make sure that there's no steal from the Fiddlesticks. That's the flash up and available. That's the boots of mobility to secure the crowd control. There you go, OMG. It's still 3,000, but they are getting gold. They are still keeping themselves well within reach.
Yep. They're finding opportunities to fight against Team WE. They're sacrificing a lot for it, giving away bottom lane outer turret. Finding fights in the mid lane, but slowly the rest of the outer turrets are taking quite a bit of damage. Sia even throwing Rift Tower down in the mid lane. That turret in the mid lane for Icon is at about half health.
It may survive the charge, it may not. It's going to be a full health Herald charge regardless, so the turret's going to go down, even if OMG were here in time. 2
turrets, very early for Team WE. Yes, OMG can take theirs, but not looking good for them so far. Shelly gets another charge. Very low health charge, but still chunks the inner turret to just above half health.
Yeah, they can't stop Shelly from actually charging, so regardless, it'll do the maximum amount of damage that it can if the side's at full health. Lots of damage onto the turret that does not regenerate. Now we've got a blue buff. We've got an opportunity for WE to continue to group. Top lane outer turret is the next one they want to take down. Once they've got control of all of the outers, the map is theirs for the taking.
They've got the setup. They already have 957 in the bottom lane, but no teleport available for him.
It's the next fight though, Fish. That's what we're looking at. You know, with that setup in place, if they can break this turret, they can get a team fight, then break the turret. Whatever it is for WE, if they continue this acceleration, they're in a good stead. For OMG, they want to prevent something from happening soon. They want to thwart something before it gets too far. Looks like the turret is not the answer.
They're going to try and tank up this turret. Missing takes quite a bit of damage to his hit points. Disengage, lose a bit of health, but Sia's going to get the job done. Top lane, outer turret gets taken down. Chelly as well as Fire were working on mid lane outer.
Yeah.
But Mystic reacts to that. moves into the middle lane, and now it's a 5,000 gold lead for WE. 3 turrets being picked up.
They could only get it to half health in mid lane as well, so complete control for Team WE. You can see Icon bottom lane may be able to chunk down the bottom turret, but it shouldn't be enough to even push that one down either. They're in a very good position, WE, and it should only get better now that they've had an opportunity to shop, spend all the gold they just earned, and get those items.
I mean, they played around the teleport time well. Icon's teleport just came back up. 957 still on cooldown. If they were not able to take down the top lane out of turret that quickly, it could have been a forced fight from OMG. They could have had a numbers advantage as well. But now OMG are stuck. 5,000 gold behind. You mentioned items being picked up. Mystic's Rod of Age is slowly stacking up as well. 7 stacks on that. Looking for the Zhonya's next. He doesn't even have to rush if he doesn't want to. Stopwatch is still available for him. He can get 1 charger for that. Look for other items first.
This is that point where we have to actually just watch WE with a close lens. Will they continue aggression or will they just slow down? You know, this is definitely not the 20 minutes of laning phase that we saw from that first game by any means. At 17 minutes, it's a completely different ball game.
I mean, reminds me a lot of the Caitlyn composition that WE used to run.
Yeah, exactly. So that's actually a point of contrast that we'll have to continue to measure, right? Can they use this, firstly, this style of play when they don't have the Caitlyn to do the rest of the work? They've got the turrets down, so they've absolutely played slowly, controlled the laning phase as you would want them to do. Got those turrets, but now they've got Mystic mid laning, Xie side laning without a teleport. It's the cleanse to Leah. What are their lane assignments going to be? You know, what are the objectives going to be they look at? Drake's not important right now. It's only just been taken. Baron's not up for another 3 minutes. And this could just be 3 minutes of OMG hanging out.
Potentially.
Having a grand time farming equally.
And we always talked about this when the Caitlyn composition was popular in the LPL. What does the team do after they take down all the outer turrets? Because OMG, they're stuck. They're doing the right thing, rotating lane to lane, taking away jungle buffs and jungle camps where they can. And they might have even found access to the bottom lane inner turret. OMG don't have enough members to defend this. 4 turrets to none. Very
good from WE, and that's something that breaks open the map even more. We ask the question, they give us the answer pretty much immediately. They go bottom lane, they get the inner turret. And at the same time, when you look at OMG, what is their response? What is available to them? You know, they're going to Rise, who does no damage this early into the game to structures, trying to hit that one down. And now they're going to cheese in the bush next to it to stop WE from keeping this one up.
Control ward is there, but WE say, you know what? You can have the turret. We've got 4. Take one for yourself. You've earned 1. OMG makes sure they don't bleed out. Yes, they lose an inner turret, but they stay.
Don't you do it.
They say the same.
No. What a great human being.
I'm upset.
No, why are you upset? That's the best
If that was Raz playing Fiddlesticks, I would have knocked him over the wall.
That's entirely wholesome, Fish. We're watching pleasurable experiences on the rift right
Disagree. Now. I'm not very happy by that play.
Well, there's 2 types of people in the world.
Cancel the base every chance you can. Irritate your teammates. No, don't do that. It's not good. OMG do wait for 5 to go back to base. Jericho jumps over the wall. They're still just sitting back. There's not much they can do. WE have the right idea. They're playing it nice and safe. They've got another minute until Baron spawns, a few more. The second Elemental Dragon is going to spawn as well. That could be the next objective they play around. Still making use of the access they have into OMG's jungle to take away camps. And really want to know where OMG are going to attack next or make a stand. Because if they're just sitting back and relaxing, WE are just going to slowly take incremental objectives.
WE even itemized towards the next fight. You know, the 20-minute Baron potentially being there. They've gone for flat magic penetration opposed to the Void Staffs right now with the Oblivion Orbs. So they're set to fight straight away. And OMG, whilst they don't want to fight straight away, they have to.
Oh, but they collapse into Icon. They've caught him off guard on the top lane. Fire's going to jump in with the Crow Storm. Suddenly, OMG look to try and make a stand themselves. Ragnarok gets used, and Talia tries to join top side of the map. Jekko flashing away from the flick back that comes out from Sia. The rest of OMG are going to collapse into the top lane as well, but nobody falls in that small fight.
It could have been worse for OMG. Their mid laner could have died, but the mid lane turret is being attacked by Team WE. Should actually just be taken down, and suddenly...
Clinical play so far, but fine. That's aggressive. Flashing forward for the fear. Nobody from OMG to collapse on that. Icon, he has a nice flank for himself. Gets good damage to 957, but he's about to get the blood well. Throws out the ultimate. Collapses on Icon and gets a kill to start the fight. Shelby goes far forward. Gets a single kill to Sia. He gets taken down next. 500 kills for Joel T in the LPL. The next to 4 is going to be Tiako as well. Only Dr. Mundo left alive.
They ping the assist to the Baron, and suddenly all of WE able to collapse as well. They'll go to the objective. They will secure it for themselves. Oh my god. What was that team fight from OMG is the way that you have to ask the question there, because that was a mess, but it was a desperate mess. It was one they felt like they had to take. I mean, unfortunately, it's not one that they win.
The top lane skirmish actually looked decent from OMG. They pushed away WE. They almost got a kill onto Pepper. Almost pushed for a couple more kills themselves. But Icon caught out of position, tried that flank. Just desperate plays from OMG. Doesn't work out. WE get 4 kills. They take down another inner turret and a Baron buff.
And it all starts with this random flash from 5. So he doesn't have to flash for the rest of the fight. Deep teleport flank from Icon. He's got the phase rush, so he's trying to survive for as long as he can, but missing. Absolute machine when it comes to Shen. The cogs turn, the taunt connects. It's just definitely going to happen. 957 gets his 500th kill on the Fiddlesticks that's wishing he had a flash.
0-3-2 this Fiddlesticks. Tieko as well. 1-3-0. Not looking too good for OMG. It's been a clinical match from WE. We said we needed to change something about their playstyle.
It's not up yet.
WE always had an early game comp ready to catch opponents by surprise, ready to punish a greedy draft to try and match WE in the late game. And they've got one more here, bringing in a Mystic, picking up the Swain, missing as well on this Shen. An absolute legend. I don't think he's missed a Shadow Dash just yet.
No, he's a bloody monster. He's been popping, having a grand time actually as a support of Team WE, and it's not even just him, right? Like, taunts are connecting, and we absolutely praise him for how much work he's doing, but Mystic's also setting it up. Shia's also setting it up with walls, and the whole team of WE have worked around this Shen pick brilliantly to set themselves up to succeed.
Much better match for Pepper as well. Seems like this is his type of playstyle. They've caught out Sia. Very tanky Dr. Mundo, happy to tank up this damage while they try to deal with the Banner of Command cannon minion. Yeah. Still aggroing Dr. Mundo, so this turret is not taking too much of a beating. They're going to be able to pull back Sion.
They've got 2 Morellos also in their composition, so Mundo not going to have the best time healing up with the ultimate. See him backing away to ult just to get health back. That's the state of the game right now for OMG. There's nothing they can do.
It's not good.
The game is over for all intents and purposes unless WE make a mistake.
I mean, 11,000 gold, 23 minutes into the match. I can't even force to flash away from a flick that gets thrown out from Sia over the wall of OMG's base.
He's annoying right now. Look at him. That control ward is the golden child. He is protecting it with his life. Yeah, get off.
There's not much for OMG to protect anymore. WE, every ounce of pressure WE have thrown at OMG has kept them locked down from the start of this match till now, with Baron buff pushing for a bottom lane inhibitor turret. They know what they want to do every step of the way. Bottom lane is the objective. Banner of Command, cannon minion, with Baron buff is also pushing with them. Everyone at full health. OMG looking to try and find access to a team fight, but see how no ultimate available on that Dr. Mundo.
No chance.
Difficult.
No chance at all. OMG are just, they aren't given an option. There is no counterplay. There's no strategic way to get back into the game with how cleanly WE have used the lead to get the victory. And now, at this point in the game, 2 inhibitors gone. WE should just recall, utilize that the super minions now going to be running through the lanes where the inhibs have been taken, get all of the money spent on items, the money they've just earned, and go towards the 1 remaining lane. You secure this game through 3 inhibitors, close it as clean as you started it.
They know exactly what they want next. Top lane in the turret's going to be the objective.
That is not a teleport ward, don't you dare.
Who knows?
But there is a teleport ward there.
There's 2 teleports available for OMG as well. Close to be 3 for Icon. A little bit too deep into the territory of Team WE, however.
I think the only person that would teleport there is SOFM. It is that deep. He's the only person mad enough to consider that as a ward that you would teleport to.
To him, it would just make sense, though. Wouldn't even be a mad play. But for WE, it's just nice and simple. OMG are going to be stuck underneath this turret. They can wait for super minions as well if they want to. Banner of Command slowly pushing back in. They chip away at Seong. Flicked back, pulled back. Dr. Mundo is not going away pleased at the moment. Almost taken down. Forced to use his own stopwatch. Will regenerate. Jelly going to use the ultimate to clear out this mini wave as well. WE relentless and playing this so well. It's clinical.
And it's not just chip damage anymore, it's potential kill threat. If that's the tank of OMG, what's going to happen if it's a carry that gets caught out of position? Anyone but Mundo, and that is a death.
Icon trying to get some damage onto Sia. Getting the mid laner down fairly low, but they pull back Dieko. One flick, and he's down to just above half health.
But it's still easy
potions.
for Shia. His job is not to engage.
Oh, Crowstorm's going to come out, but 5 forced to use the stopwatch very early. Dieko using his own offense. 957 gets 2! Smacks them down! Icon wants to kite this one out. Pepper forced to retreat from this as they lose structure after structure, member after member. Only Seong left alive. There's your question answered, Rusty. If it's anyone but Dr. Mundo, they simply fall. And W are going to tie up this series. They pick up the inhibitors, they pick up all the turrets. Nexus will fall. We're tied up 1-1.
A 26-minute game from Team WE. You can hear the crowd, elation. They get to see Mystic for the first time. In the Summer Split, they get to see Mystic win. All the same. The Shen Swain combo in that bottom lane was outstanding. And WE looks good as a team with a lead.
And despite WE's 0-3 start, despite their loss in the first match, their fans are all behind. Even though it is at the Chengdu Arena where OMG play. Still supporting Mystic, jumping back into the team. I mean, Imp playing that first match as well. They could potentially change things up for game number 3. But now that question is going to OMG. Do they take out Dieko? Do they bring in Mountain? What's going to happen for them?
Yeah, I'd love to see Mountain come back in. I don't think that Dieko was strictly a problem. In fact, he played quite well, and he wasn't the problem for why they lost the game. No. But I do think a refreshing change, a new start for the draft, maybe give them something extra in Game 3 would be a nice little extra for OMG. Ultimately, they were just played the entire time, played for the full, caught off guard, as you mentioned. They were just matched at every moment and bested at every same moment as it happened.
I mean, it's something that we saw quite frequently when they used that Caitlyn composition. You play the late game against WE, get used to it, you draft a greedy composition almost, and you get punished for it. This time around, just something unpredictable almost. Mystic jumps back in, pulls out Swain in the bottom lane. WE were a team that were running 80 carries primarily. Caught Chelly off guard, it seemed.
Absolutely, and it's not something you could even really just flatly call unpredictable. We just didn't know, right? Like, we didn't know what Mystic would play. You'd have to assume it's AD carries. That's all WE seem to be playing at all, but he does bring out the Swain. He does bring out something new, and they are able to get themselves the victory on the back of that, but namely missing, working super well with him, the crowd control combo. And then you hit the mid-late game, and the Talia's added to the fray, and suddenly someone just dies, even if it's a Mundo.
I mean, they've been able to tie up the series 1-1, but they've done this 2 times before, Rusty. Yes, they lost 2-0 against TOP to start the Summer Split, which was something we didn't expect from any of the casters yet. I think we all got that tip wrong, even the 8-ball. But against Snake and Fun Plus Phoenix, that went to Game 3. Both times W were not able to close out the match. Now they're going to try and do that against OMG.
Yeah, for me, I mean, from watching Team WE play, they've had opportunities, and the same thing persists through all of the games that they've played. You know, the draft has been decent, but it's the rest of the game that needs to be secured. And this is the first real time I've watched them play and just been like, wow, they're just good. Like, at every stage of the game with the comp they had, and it seems like Mystic does mean a great deal.
There is a potential they could change things for game number 3, but it was just too clinical from WE, so we don't need the analyst desk to break that one down. We're going to go into a very quick break. See you on the other side.
过去的荣光就留在记忆中 ，WE 要追逐新的胜利。